Land of Raw, Chapter 21. We turn and run. But we've only taken a few steps before we realise our path is blocked. The rock behind us is now packed full of scarecrows. There are more than I can count, and they're pushing and shoving at each other, apparently desperate to get at us. "Where did they come from?" I whisper. "The Raven," says Wyn. Further along the magic road, Crokey's battleship is tethered to a rock. It must have crept up in the mist, and now it's creaking and groaning as waves smash against it. Crows circle around the sails, their caws sounding like laughter. I see more scarecrows jump from her deck. Then, like a swarm of scurrying creatures, they rush to join the pack standing opposite us. The scarecrows stare through mismatched button eyes. Wisps of straw float off them as they hunch forward, preparing to attack. Some smile. Some snarl. Their stick fingers twitch. Crokey is behind us. His army is in front of us, and all around are the waves of the bottomless ocean. We're trapped. "The mission hasn't quite gone according to plan," says Wyn as the scarecrows inch closer. "Not quite." I hear a rustle of wings and see Crokey is closing in on us too. He's frowning in concentration and making strange bird-like sounds, harsh caws and clicks, and as one the pack of scarecrows crouch into a striking position. I realise that Crokey just made them do that. Last time I was in Raw, he worked alone. Now he's commanding this army. "Arthur?" Wyn shoves me. "Any bright ideas?" My eyes flick from Crokey to the scarecrows. "Let's fight the scarecrows. There are loads of them, but if we can get past them, at least we stand a chance of getting back to land. Can they stuff things, like Crokey?" Wyn shakes his head. "I don't know, mate, but there's only one way to find out. Ready?" "Ready." My trembling voice gives away my fear. He clutches his wand in front of him. "Say that thing." "What thing?" "That thing you always used to shout. You know, 'Hear me roar.'" At that moment the scarecrows surge forward, and I hear a great flap of wings behind me. "Hear me roar!" I yell. "Hear me roar!" Wyn and I fling ourselves over the gap and onto the next rock. The moment we hit the ground, we're tugged apart. Scarecrows pull at me, scratch my face and tear at my clothes. I stagger to my feet and try to smash my way through them. But there are too many, and they press closer and closer, punching and stamping. Then the crows join in too, pecking and jabbing, aiming for my eyes. Keeping an arm over my face, I try to fight back. I thrust the wooden sword in front of me, trying to clear a path, but it's plucked from my hands, and the next thing I know, it's smacking me across my shoulders. I pull a scarecrow's arm so hard that it comes off in my hands, but the scarecrow just swings round and smashes me with its other fist. Between blows, I see Wyn struggling to hold on to his wand. Soon the scarecrows force us together until we're cowering at the very edge of the rock. Just when I think we're going to be shoved into the sea, they fall back. With a leap, Crokey lands on our rock and strides towards us, eyes gleaming. "Oh dear," says Wyn. "Oh dear?" We clutch each other for support. "Wyn, we've been defeated in under 3 minutes." "At least we're going down in a blaze of glory." I see that at some point one of the scarecrows got Wyn's rucksack off my back and is now rummaging through it. It pulls out one of the apples, opens its mouth and swallows it whole. I shake my head. This isn't a blaze of glory. It's pathetic. Crokey stops in front of us. "Pathetic," he says. I couldn't have chosen a better word myself. Then in one lightning quick movement, he lunges forward and grabs hold of my shoulders. The second his twig fingers dig into my skin, a cold numbness slams into me. I try to struggle and kick out, but already my legs are becoming stiff. "Drain," hisses Croaky. "Drain." I twist and turn, but Croaky only presses harder, his eyes rolling to the back of his head as everything warm inside, my life, my breath, seeps away. I see Wyn grab Croaky's arm, but one kick sends him flying to the ground. "Drain, drain." Croaky's voice is a hoarse whisper. As the chill creeps up my neck towards my throat, Croaky seems to come to life. His head lifts, his eyes focus and his wings start to beat, slowly at first, then faster and faster, until they're a blur, and then he's rising into the air. "I'm flying!" he shrieks. "I'm flying!" His hands squeeze tighter and he lifts my heavy, icy body up with him. My throat is tight, but I manage to cry, "Wyn, help!" Wyn staggers to his feet and wraps his arms around my legs. Instantly I feel a glow of warmth and I'm able to twist from side to side, but Croaky's grip is like steel and his wings just beat harder, pulling me higher in the air until I'm being torn in two. Below me, waves smash against the rocks and Croaky kicks out at Wyn, who's clinging onto my legs, refusing to let me go. Croaky pushes his face close to mine. I see a loose thread dangling from one button eye and breathe in his musty, feathery smell. "I really do have you now, don't I, Arthur Trout?" Then he throws his head back and cackles. At that moment, a screech echoes across the valley. It's followed by a thudding like distant thunder. Croaky's eyes shift from my face to the sky beyond, then his face scrunches up with rage. "No!" I manage to turn my head. Two vast shapes are moving through the sky, beating a path towards us. "Dragons!" Wyn cries, as great wings loom through the mist. There is another spine-tingling screech and a ball of fire explodes in the sky. One of the dragons leads the way, close enough now for me to see light shining through his red wings and the arrowhead tail that droops below him. "Pickle?" I whisper. A darker, larger dragon tumbles around Pickle, snapping at his tail. Vlad. The dragons' names come back to me as fast as they're cutting through the sky. Pickle soars closer and closer until the flash of fire shooting from his jaws showers us with sparks. Croaky howls, and that's when I remember that if there's one thing straw-stuffed Croaky hates, it's fire. Pickle dives and his talons stretch wide as if he's preparing to strike. Then through the black smoke billowing from his nostrils, I see a figure sitting on his back. Her eyes are blazing and her hair is flying out behind her. She's wearing slippers and a leopard print onesie. "Rose!" I yell, and at that moment Croaky loses his grip and I fall backwards, past the rock and towards the sea, dragging Wyn down with me.